Basic elements. Here we're going to pretend that we're actually doing a critique. So we're going to go through exactly what you need to do when you're standing in front of that audience. So first step, meet the organizers of the critique before the session and get a feel for the organization. Have each student contribute at one piece of work for the review. Remind the group that you will only spend 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes per piece, and that you will not cover absolutely everything about their painting, but instead look for core elements. Say that you are looking forward to seeing all their new work. Say something fun like, "This will be like the first look at presents at Christmas," and that you will enjoy the experience. This is only a suggestion. Step 1. Starting. Sometimes I ask the artist to tell me about the painting first. I've mentioned this before. This way, I get a good idea of the artist's intent and goals. I do this fairly regularly, but if the group is a beginner group, they may have trouble explaining their work. This embarrasses them. I gauge the level of the group beforehand. If there is 1 or 2 artists in the group that present more advanced work, I will test the waters with them and ask for the story behind the painting. That way, the beginners listen to how these more advanced people talk, and they will copy that. It works every time too. Look at the work carefully, slowly, smile, and then start. Remember, they are as afraid as you are. Start and continued. So you're standing there, you describe what you see. Is it a landscape, abstract figure? What are the colors used? Note the basic shapes and how they interact. Identify the style. Identify the materials. Identify patterns you need to take out the sandwich technique. Find good elements. Point out a part of that needs to change. Add another good point. So good, negative, good. If there's something you don't understand, ask for clarification by the artist. They'll tell you exactly what you're not understanding. This is a good hint to them that maybe their painting isn't as clear as they think. Here's an example. This landscape appears to me like big hill nearby. The painting is divided into basic shapes that show foreground, middle ground, background really well. The shapes are large in the foreground, and that way we read them as closer to us. In the background, the shapes are smaller and thus further away. The colors you use do a good job showing me the distance too. The further away the shapes are, the more neutral the colors. Bright colors are usually in the foreground. They may know this already, but it's good to repeat. It's like giving them approval. The work is done in acrylic. Get confirmation from the artist. The brushstrokes are bolder in the foreground too, smaller in the background. That is good. Now the sandwich. What I have trouble reading is this shape as you point to the road. Does it lead to the background? The road is the same size in the foreground as it is in the background. Perspective is a problem here. Go back to positive. The way you solve this is, and that would be a really great solution. You can add a description of the textures or the materials in the same way. I don't always touch every point. I pick 3 points to talk about in my head, and I don't use the same ones for every painting. Some points may not apply to every painting. I pick 3 points that are particular to that one painting I'm looking at. Here's your assignment. Look at this piece of artwork. Practice your critiquing skills. Write it down if you need to. Choose 3 points, like mentioned before, and then start critiquing. Do this now, and we'll see you in the next section.